Hello once again. We stand here to speak to you once again about the organization called the People's Movement for African Unity, an organization that is given a mandate of uniting Africa and forming its political federation, which according to divine plan will be in alliance with the State of Israel to form what, according to divine plan, is called the Kingdom of God on earth. When we speak about Kingdom of God, people may think it is attributed to religion. No, it is not about religion or the religious book called Bible where it is taken. It's not about those things. It's all about what the message is, what it means in the history of the world. We've seen many years about how nations has dominated nations to injury, how all sorts of operations has happened in the world. But also God promised that there will be a day, there will be a time when His kingdom will manifest on earth, a kingdom that will represent a moment when there will be peace, harmony, justice among individuals and nations of the world. A period where immorality will be less. A period where the sons of God all across the world will live in peace and harmony. That is what the kingdom of God means. We've had also seen several kingdoms that have circulated all across the world. Now, finally, it is time for that God's promise to manifest. And Africa has been chosen as the seat of the power in alliance with the State of Israel, and more particularly, the city of Jerusalem. So these are what represents the kingdom of God on earth, which all of us have been praying for and yielding. So it's our responsibility as the People's Movement for African Unity to begin that very process and make it a reality, which we are certain of, because we are confident of the power behind it. It's not just a movement where people come and talk wara and go. No, it's a movement that is inspired by the great forces of life, namely God and His messengers, to carry out this very mandate on earth, not only for the benefit of Africans, but for the benefit of the world. We will use this opportunity to give a great acknowledgement to messengers of God who had once graced the earth and their works. We acknowledge them as the messengers of God, those who change the course of human destiny, those who change history, ranging from the biblical Moses to Jesus to Prophet Muhammad of the Arabia to Confucius of China to Buddha, ranging up to politicians such as Winston Churchill, Fidel Castro, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Chairman Mao Zedong of China, people like Nelson Mandela, Robert Mugabe, Kenneth Kaunda. Almost all corners of the earth has people who have contributed in changing the course of human history. Some of us has mistaken those people for being evil because of the barbaric act and wars that sometimes has gone together with their mission. But what we fail to understand is that the supreme forces of life implants in those people. There is a particular power, there is a particular spirit that represents a particular mission to be carried out in a particular place in the world that is incarnating those people. Those people are sent to that for that purpose. So they don't come here to kill you, to engage in wars or killing people as if they're eating with human flesh or that they're going to remain here in eternity. No, it's their mission, and what makes them to do that is that most of us on earth have seen them with a wrong eye, because religion have given us a different interpretations of what life is. We are not exposed to the theories of human evolution. Of course, those theories is not something human being can know in advance. We have to wait for the time to come, and then when it manifests, historians, philosophers will begin to learn from there. But what we have failed is to put it in our mind and consciousness about the evolution of the world, which takes different steps. So when you see people like Joseph Stalin came to build Russia, and then there was opposition to them, and then all of them have one thing in common: either they purge their opponents, or they engage in massacre to remove anything that can stop them, or anything they feel that is becoming a choke, that is trying to choke them, that doesn't give them the freedom to exercise the duty according to the spirit that lies in them. Then they remove you. You may make mistake of thinking they are devil. They are not the devil that the way you think. It is your ignorance that make them to act that way. We've seen people like Joseph Stalin with a lot of killings that went on in Russia during his period of building the nation and with his communist colleagues. We've also seen a lot of people that died in South Africa in an attempt to bring down apartheid, as well as in Zimbabwe and Namibia. We've seen a lot of people that died during the Second World War in an attempt for Hitler to be able to achieve the mission that he was made to carry out on Earth. We've also seen a lot of people died in China during the regime of Mao Zedong. Because what happens before those people is that the nation find themselves in terrible problem, in terrible situation that requires a solution. And then everybody in the society, some influential men like politicians, economists, businessmen, everybody believe that they have the solution to the problem of the nation. When all of them are not permitted, they just do those things out of their curiosity. So before the coming of the solution, they already might have been doing something which they have their own followers or people who believe in what they're saying and in their own process. So when the people that are tasked with the responsibility, with the higher power of going to solve that very problem comes later, then those people who have already implanted their mind themselves in the mind and consciousness of the society do not always give way for those people to work, because their ego, they believe what they're doing is correct. Their ego doesn't allow them to swallow their pride and then adjust to the new leader that is meant to do those things. They believe, this man, I'm here before you, I know you have got money, I've got everything more than you. So what this man just come from nowhere, you want to talk nonsense. We've been here for many years. This guy just come here. You think no, we cannot allow that. That's when those guys get angry. Because what we do is to gauge human being based on the size of his flesh, based on how beautiful he looks, or based on how handsome he looks, or based on all these material polished things like a big car. We don't have the eyes to understand what is inside human being. No matter how philosophical or spiritual we are, everything that God puts in human being remains between that very person and God himself. You will never know it. You only know it when it has manifested to the full and return. And then you begin to read history and do philosophy and try to reason from there. That's the only way. But trying to know what God has put in somebody in advance, forget it. Only that very person, only God knows. Even the person himself doesn't know himself completely. It's only God who knows that very person. But as the person keep on going in the mission, so God himself will keep on opening more ways and more revelations, so that person can be able to attain the mission he is meant to serve among the community of mankind in whichever area. So coming back to the point of killing by those people like Joseph Stalin or Mao Zedong or Fidel Castro or Winston Churchill, even David Ben-Gurion had to kill many people to force the state of Israel to stay after nearly 2,000 years. It's not like those people want to kill people. It's just this thing I'm telling you, just very simple thing. Today, the same forces of life that have told those people to come and do so and so on earth, that same forces of life have come to Africa today. So, but we can avoid that very killing. We can avoid it if we work intelligently. Because one of the means is that there was no means of communication during their time. They couldn't take their time. But today, learning is very simple. We have social media, we have all sorts of newspapers, television stations everywhere. So it's easy for people to be educated, to be informed of certain things. And we have better transportations today, we can have rallies, talk to people. So we can achieve this same mission in our generation today in Africa without wasting our energy to kill each other in our bid to cure our ignorance. We can do that just by having that, by giving each other a brotherly attention. Just to call ourselves as people who are one in nature, who found themselves in common circumstances, and who need to escape from that very circumstances, and which also want to obtain a glory, a blessing from God that God has given us. Because for African continent and its people to represent the image of peace and the justice in the world, it's a blessing we must work hard to maintain. So I'm saying that let all Africans or anybody live in Africa today humbly accept our proposal. They are godly. They are what is made for the change that has come to Africa, and which will reflect in many places across the world. So let's not be barbaric, whether you're an African or non-African living here. Just succumb to our proposal. Let's run things smoothly. That's what we are asking for. So we don't come and see ourselves as people who are killers and drinking blood water. No, but if it's time for bloodshed and war, those areas are different. But if in a situation where something does not deserve killing, a war, if something is not a war, why killing? It doesn't make sense. If something does not require you to kill or to protest, why protesting on killing or shooting people with gun or tear gas? No. But if something does not require you to resist, then you decide to resist it, then you are invited that very killing and imprisonment. There's no other way about that. No, our hand cannot be tied back because of those things. No. We cannot come and impose a condition that is impossible for a human being to attain. Maybe to obey some simple principles, or to contribute, make a financial contribution, or to manage things well, or to be, when you are given a duty to carry out, to try to carry that very duty with seriousness. Do it as if you are doing it for yourself. Don't just come and do something simply because you are getting paid. Pay attention to the beauty of your mind and work for the good of Africa, for the good of humanity. If you are a non-African, we tell you stop this. Respect it. Don't try to resist it. If you tell you don't, please go this way, respect it simply. So we can avoid that very killing and give ourselves the brotherly attention that we deserve. So we are making this particular video message to tell people to please, we can avoid those barbarism. Check all over the world. All the changes has always come with wars and the protest and barbaric acts because of the ignorance of the people. But in the end, the very same leader who controls the change ended up becoming the national hero of the nation in which he came to work. He became the hero of the children and grandchildren of the generation that resisted them. To tell you that some type of resistance is nothing more than foolishness. Go to Russia now and see Joseph Stalin is being adored. Many people adore Germany, adore Adolf Hitler for what he did in Germany, even though popular history decided to portray him as ugly. There was nothing wrong with Hitler. He's doing his job. We can see, go to Cuba now and see Fidel Castro is adored everywhere by the same people who resisted him. Prophet Muhammad was chased away and beaten, chased away from Mecca. He had to run away. Today, all the Arabian world are facing Muhammad. The same people who wanted to, because of ignorance. Jesus Christ was killed by the Jews. Today, the Jews are using his name and influence to gather Christian support across the world for their self-defense, for pilgrimage to Jerusalem, which gives them revenue. But these are the same people who killed Jesus Christ out of what? Ignorance. The same people, the same Jews, Israelites, who told Moses, we don't want that promised land. Take us back to Egypt, so we are eating nice food there. Why you come and bring us here? We are suffering here. You're telling us you are taking us to the promised land. We're no longer interested in that promised land. This is the account written in the Bible. But we know that such anger towards Moses goes higher than it is written. It was more severe. But now, it is the Jews now who are studying Torah and all sorts of things that is written by Moses. So, maybe I'm wrong, but judge for yourself. and see how bad it could be to be an ignorant. But beside all those things, nobody have stopped the mission that God have decreed to happen on earth from taking effect. So Africa today is the kingdom, is the seat of the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is not those things we are imagining from religion, or we are telling each other that the kingdom of God is in the sky or above the sky in the heaven. No. There, the heaven is a place of bliss. The spiritual world is a place of bliss. There is no, it's not like where we live here. Everything is war. Kingdom of God is, the benefit of the kingdom of God is here on earth. It doesn't mean people will no longer be dying or duty. It means a moment of bliss, a moment of peace, a moment of harmony, where even if you come to the world, whether you live for many years or you live for a few years, you will enjoy the world as the house of God, your creator, the house of your father. You live in peace, where nobody will deprive you of the basic means. We will see ourselves suffering for rentals, suffering for basic things like electricity that is being made available, that God has given the knowledge to build them, but we confiscate them because we want to hold monopoly of it. We use it to punish all sorts of people across the world in order to those things, greed, those things will gradually, with the Spirit of God, they won't go overnight. They won't go according to the time pace of me and you. It may take time, maybe 50, 100 or how many years it will take to gradually go down, because this generation of mankind and their spirit will gradually go down. Then the new world will gradually get in. And all the people who are living in this world, like I always say, the process of reincarnation assures that nobody is a loser in coming to the world. So whatever you don't benefit now, there will be a time when your soul personality will incarnate back into earth for you to enjoy the beautiful moment of life. It doesn't mean when you come here you don't die. Don't sit down here and start imagining those things, thinking that death is a wrong thing. No, death, life and death is a process of evolution. There is nothing wrong with living a life and dying. There's nothing wrong with dying. It's a nice thing to die. Go check down and correct yourself in the spiritual world and return back again to see which next step you can take to keep on evolving yourself and be a great child of God. There's nothing wrong with dying. But what we are saying is that when you come to the world, at least you don't come here you come here, at least you live. Live, be a human being, the prime representative of God's image. Live like a human being, live peacefully. Enjoy life, not vandalization of, but live life and then die and go back. Not this type of suffering, wars, miseries, injustices, all kind of evil we are seeing today in the world, greed, all this type of nonsense, immorality. We don't have to be seeing those things in the kingdom of God. Violence of law and order. No, these are what the kingdom of God promises that will be gradually removed. And these are the things that is giving us trouble in our life as human beings. So the kingdom of God is not like it's something there in the sky that the people say, no, it's like a ceiling. Then they have to open it. Somebody will resurrect. When you go to the sky, then you close back. Others mustn't go. No, it's not those things. This kingdom of God is a moment of peace on earth. And that is the energy. That thing is working with the spiritual energy. And every generation, a spiritual energy is issued to work. There are people who inherit that very energy. The energy of peace and justice has been delegated to Africa. It is living in Africa today. So that's what Africa represents. I believe that establishing this and making it a great mission is not something any single person can come to oppose or to start protesting or what. No, swallow your ego. Don't do this. Be obedient. Let's move together until we establish it, and that's fine. Thank you very much as you listen to us. We also use this opportunity to tell you to log on to our accounts, YouTube, and other social media like Facebook, and see People's Movement for African Unity. You can see other of our videos and enjoy it. Thank you very much.